and I wasn't gonna ever say this in front of my family or anyone, but I don't even want you to go to jail. I want the best for you because I know that's exactly what both of them would want you to do.
Black woman had our back. She always put us on the map. She nurtured us from a babe. So first teacher, look at that. What's good, black people? First and foremost, if you're a first time viewer of my content of this video, like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you've been catching up with this Amber case, I haven't really done a particular video concerning her being guilty because I don't feed into, the whole, oh, I'm glad she's guilty and I'm glad she's going to jail, because there's a countless history. There's a countless amount of white people who continuously and have gotten away with killing us innocently, right? Killing us, who are innocent beings, killing us multiple times, slaughtering us, lynching us, throwing our babies in lakes and lynching us, right? Amputating us, shooting us without any reason other than I fear for my life. All these other type of stuff that go on in this society. They killed off Tamir Rice. He was playing with a toy gun in the park, and they thought the little boy had an actual gun. Meanwhile, you got white men who run around naked after they done killed about 2 to 3 people, and they running away from this man. You know what I'm saying? But then you have people like, you have multiple black men historically who have nothing on them, had nothing on them, and they were killed for just being who they are. It's ridiculous to me, and people still don't see the corruptness in this society. And what really irks me is that they have these black people, literally, I feel like they pay black people just to look a fool and shuck and jive. Because I don't really feel like this man, this brother's, his little brother, I don't feel like, he out of his heart would have said something like that to that woman. I felt like he was paid to say that. Think about this, because if really, and I could be wrong, but if he honestly out of his heart said that to that woman and hugged her and all this other type of stuff, then we are really in a deep condition. And we do have black people out here who really will go to that extent. But you have to understand, this is hitting mainstream media, and they have to narrate black people in a particular way. And they always narrate. It doesn't matter if it gets to the big screen, if it gets to the mainstream, they always going to narrate. They're going to find some type of way to make that black person submit to them, right? And be like, oh, I forgive you, and I don't feel nothing bad for you. And they don't have no revolutionary black people out here after something that has happened to their family members. They're not up here to, oh, we about to do something. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh, we don't want no harm done to the family and to the person who killed my brother or my sister or my mother or my father or my son or my daughter. We want the best out of them, and we know that it's tragic what has happened, but we forgive them. God loves everybody, and I'm sure, at that particular time, they start shucking and jiving, all this other type of stuff. They're always going to find some type of Negro. They're always going to find some type of Negro when it concerns these particular predicaments, and they found the little brother. They found the little brother. He done sold out, made, if I was the brother, because I'm a big brother. If my little brother, if they paid my little brother to say something like that, not only is he a sellout, right? Not only is he a sellout, I would turn over in my grave. I would turn over in my grave for even my family to even allow him to go up in court if something like that hypothetically was to happen to me. I would roll in my grave. That's not only a disrespect to me, but that's a disrespect to the countless amount of black men who have been killed because of white women. Countless amount of black men have been killed and murdered because of white women. My great-great-grandfather almost got lynched because of a white woman. Emmett Till, you saw what happened to Emmett Till. You really think us as black men, you know, for one, we shouldn't be messing with white women. That should be cold, right? But when stuff like this happens to us as black men, you know, we have to take a stand. There has to, you know what I'm saying? As a people, as a whole, you know, we have to take a stand. We can make it trend. We can literally make a trend where we come to the conclusion that we're no longer going to mess with white women or any other nation of women, and we're going to give all of our energy and support to black women. Do you know how groundbreaking that would be? I don't think us as black men realize how groundbreaking that would be if us as black men said, we're only going to support our women, protect our women, be for our women, build nations with our women, and marry our women. And we are not going to deal with any other race of women. Do you know how groundbreaking that would be? It would make white people lose their mind. How could he not want my vagina? How could he not want my... It will make white women lose their minds. It will make them lose their minds for them not to feel like they don't have advantage over you. Literally. I've seen it happen. I've talked about how much I love black women in front of white women, and they just can't stand it. They can't stand when a black man has so much confidence and unapologetic feelings towards his women. They don't like when you control the narrative. They don't like when you are aware of their phantom and illusion and matrix that they put your people in, and they once put you in as well. They don't like when you're out of the matrix, because then they're gonna try and plot you down. They're gonna try to do everything that they can to try and make you look bad, right? They're gonna do everything that they can to try and plot against you, and it's happened to me. It has happened to me. Even in high school, it has happened to me. So it's gonna happen. They just can't stand. White women cannot stand when a black man stands up for his women and for his people. It's like when Huey P. Newton was on an interview, and this white woman was like, "You scare people, Huey. You scare people." and Huey said,
scared people.
Anytime the black man attempts to change the slave image, he will scare white people. So the Black Panther Party, I thank you. When you said that we scared people, that means that we were creating a positive black image for ourselves.
Carlton.
So you have this going on. But, you know, going back to the particular issue at hand, you know, with this Amber case, not only did this little brother, you know, say he don't want nothing harm done to her. He said she doesn't deserve a jail sentence. This man says she didn't deserve a jail sentence. I don't even think I need to go any further. This man says how much did they pay you, bruh? I'm not believing this. How much did they pay this man to say this type of stuff? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm not gullible. I'm not believing that this man, out of the kindness of his heart, and like I said before, you know, you have black people out here who are that out of their minds, but for mainstream, no, fam. Not only did the little brother give her a hug and all this, that, and the third, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be all right, but the officer, right? There was I guess he was the chief officer. See over there just comforting her, brushing her hair, and then the judge who sentenced her came down from her throne and just started hugging her, and it's gonna be okay, and started embracing her. What do you see the narrative that they are sending to us as black people? Do you understand the narrative that they are sending to us as black people and about our black women? You know, there's so much symbolism here, and we're not understanding this. This is being orchestrated. This is being orchestrated. Now, of course, the man actually did get murdered, but they're using this narrative. They're using this situation, and they're narrating a story in front of us, and we getting so reactionary. Oh, look at these damn coons, and this is what Christianity. You're not understanding. we're not in control of this narrative. You have to understand they are controlling a narrative. They are controlling a narrative on us. They are trying to send a message to us, and I gotta slow down. They are sending a message to us about our women and how we are as black people. I want you to notice that whenever there's a mainstream media situation concerning us as black people, for the most part, it's always going to be that family, and they're always going to say, oh, we forgive them, this, that, and the third. All of that is orchestrated. You know, where you have black people who, even despite the death of their family members, they'll sell out for some money, right? I'm pretty sure the judge got paid and the chief got paid to do these particular things to make us, because that's how they interpret us as a people. So they use these particular figures to try and reflect and generalize our women, you know, and it's to show you, because I've seen memes talking about if only we showed this much love towards one another. That's the narrative they're trying to send to you, and vice versa. That, you know, that we are to show more love and appreciation towards our oppressors, right? And of course, I'm glad this is happening because we're having this conversation, but we've had this conversation over and over again. But it's always good to have these particular conversations, but we need to actually start strategizing towards solutions now, you know, and we need to start going towards the youth, not for the people who are 25 and over, all right? They're long gone, damn near. So we need to start strategizing with the youth and have them grasp in their minds that us as black people, we shouldn't be forgiving and forgetting about what our enemies have done to us, what our oppressors have done to us. We should never forget, we should never forgive these particular people for what they have done to our people, right? And a part of this does have to do with Christianity, because you'll have people out here who will say, well, Jesus says to love your enemies. And they don't understand the context and what is being said in the particular moment, because when it says to love your enemies and to love those who despitefully use you, it's not talking about white people. It's not talking about your actual enemies and your oppressors. You don't see nowhere in the Bible where it says, you know, when they call Jesus, said to love the Romans. You know what I'm saying? He was speaking against the government, if even that. You know, he was speaking against the Pharisees, told them that they were the children of the devil, right? And replication of the devil was the Roman Empire, who was in control of Israel at the time. You see what I'm saying? Nowhere in the scriptures do you see where the so-called Jesus said to love your enemies, right? In reference to your oppressors. When he was speaking in that particular indication, right? And you also had to understand that it was interpreted in the English, so the word that's used for enemy might have been different for the particular moment at hand. Also, we have to understand allegory, because that's for another day, another time. But when we understand this particular situation where you have so-called Jesus who said, love your enemies, he's talking about your people, right? Because if you don't understand the narrative of Scripture, the Scriptures is talking about black people. Whether you personally take the Scriptures as being some form of information that relates to African people, when he was telling a particular group of people who were black, saying to them to love those who despitefully use you, right? He's talking to black people. He's telling black people to love other black people even if they do you wrong, right? He's telling black people to unify with people who may have done them wrong, to do unto others as they would have, I always get that wrong. You know what I'm trying to say. But in conclusion, when dealing with this very particular situation at hand, you know, we're still going by that slave narrative, that psychology that has been passed on from generation to generation, and that's what they're orchestrating to us and to black people, to love those who despitefully use you, even if they kill your brother, your sister, your daughter, your son in cold blood, out of their nature, because this is the nature of these particular people who will kill us innocently. This is what will happen. And I'll just leave it at that. But when dealing with these particular people, and when dealing with what they're orchestrating to us, we have to be aware of these things. And we can't be reacting. We can't be reacting to these particular things. We have to be proactive, right? So we know this particular thing has happened. We know that they're orchestrating this to us. So now, what are we going to do now? What narrative are we going to control? You see what I'm saying? So, me personally, where do we go from here, us as black men? We need to make a stand as a whole and say that we are no longer going to deal with these particular women. I don't deal with white women. Anybody who knows me should already know that I don't deal with any other race of women but black women. But us as black men, even if you are just now coming to a realization or awareness of this particular situation or consciousness or pro-black, whatever the case may be, us as black men, the first step that we can come to a conclusion of, the bare minimum, is that we are no longer going to deal with any other race of women, right? We are not going to deal with any other race of women but our women. And that's not being racist, that's not being hateful or spreading hate. That's called self-preservation. That's something that the Jews also practice, and the Asians and the Arabs and the East Indians, they all practice this. Okay? You're going to get mad at me, get mad at the Jewish people, get mad at the Asians, get mad at the Arabs. Go talk to them about loving other races of women. See how that works out for you. But until next time, I'm Tyrone. Thank you for liking this video and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Hopefully this information and this critical review that I gave in this particular video was informational for you. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, I will be posting weekly and daily. I'm very consistent with my content. Comment below about how you felt about what I've said. If you like what I said, if you didn't like what I said, let me know in the comment section below. Check out my clothing line business and my website, which will have my clothing line business. So that my website link will be in the description box below. So until next time, I'm Tyrone, and I am out.
I'm a true terrorist.
I would never doubt that this is where I belong.
You see what I've become. My life has moved so fast. My work is never done. Through the looking glass, I see no time for looking back. The past is in the past. The future's in my grasp.
In a place mentally like it's meant to be, heaven sent for me, the universal entity, drive matches intensity.